riders are pushing so hard, trying so hard for that fast lap time, and this hard, slippery base that's underneath, every now and then it just gives way. The rider makes a little bobble. Chad Reed able to capitalize on the small mistake by Josh Grant.
Well, the big key for Reed here tonight is, of course, the gap in the points. Because coming into the night, Reed had the points lead with Stewart sitting back in fourth.
You see Chad Reed take a look over his shoulder to the left. He knows that Stewart's out front. I keep saying this is a must-win event. Chad Reed has to do that. But let's take a look at the pass for the lead. James Stewart here just scrubs it right through this rhythm section. A talent that James Stewart has just perfected. Just incredible. Sweeps to the inside and just stays a little lower, a little more momentum. You see Villapoto just has to shut off.
Just skimming over those jumps, Jeff. Always moving forward, not necessarily higher in the air, but further forward, always driving ahead.
Well, Stewart has a technique and a style that I've never seen before in any champion that we've had. He just has this all-out speed, and, you know, I'm sure that it's years of watching videotape of riders like Jeremy McGrath and, you know, Jean-Michel Bale and all these great champions from the past. And now this is Stewart's time.
Andrew Short sitting in third, the Red Bull Honda rider. Haven't had much of a chance to talk about Andrew, but there he is in third and putting on another good run here tonight. Short debuted this season with a second at Anaheim 1, then had a fifth at Phoenix, a sixth at Anaheim 2, maybe looking at another podium finish here tonight.
Well, if he's going to make it on the podium here, he's for sure going to have to contend with Chad Reed because Chad's on the gas.
Boy, Andrew Short's been putting together some good runs this year, Aaron.
That's right, Ralph. He's definitely putting together a solid run tonight. As of last Wednesday, him and the team went testing and they dialed in the suspension. He said it's going to make a lot of difference here. It's a very tight technical track, but he said the biggest thing is he needs to get a start. Any kind of start, he'll take it. So the setup is definitely different, but he's got a lot of family and friends here as well, giving over 45 tickets.
Well, and I'm telling you, what Andrew's talking about, working with the team, it's an ongoing process that never ends, trying to perfect the machine week in, week out, working on the suspension settings, working on the chassis, the engine. I mean, there's so many things that you do, and just splitting hairs to make something just a tad bit better will make a huge difference in the overall result on the weekend.
Well, one rider who's extremely comfortable with his bike is this man with the number 1 because he is the reigning champ, Chad Reed. Spoke with Chad earlier today at the rider walk around where they actually come out and walk the track before they ride it. Chad told me he's never felt more comfortable on a motorcycle as he has on this one. Outside of the year he won his first championship in 2004.
Well, I'm telling you, for Chad Reed, I mean, he has looked fantastic all season. The bike has looked great, but he has not won a main event. And now, once again, he's having to ride his way into points here. He's still leading the points at this point, but, you know, right now, James Stewart's leading. He's won the final, or the last 2 races. He was leading when he went down at the first round. So, you know, somewhere along the line, these great rides and great fitness and the motorcycle being, you know, dialed in, it has to translate into a win.
Talked to team manager Larry Brooks of the San Manuel Yamaha crew. That's the team that James Stewart, our race leader, rides for. He said, I knew James was a great rider, but until I started working with him, I didn't really realize just how fantastic of a rider he really is. He says he is so able to see way out in front of him, Jeff, and position his body for things that are coming, not even where he's currently at on the racetrack, but putting himself in position to work through the obstacles that lay ahead. And it's working beautifully here tonight for James Stewart. He's leading in Houston. Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas, the site of the 4th round of the 2009 Monster Energy AMA FIM World Championship season for Supercross. James Stewart on the number 7. Sam Manuel Yamaha is our race leader. Ralph Sheen, Jeff Emig, and Aaron Bates with you. Chad Reed, the current points leader, has moved up onto the backside of Andrew Short, and we have a battle for third. And this is a hugely important fight for Chad Reed, because every point that he can get, even if he doesn't get the win here tonight, Jeff, might keep him as the points leader as the series moves on to San Francisco next week. And Reed now takes the spot away. And that race for San Francisco, one you'll see here on CBS next weekend.
Well, you can see that just how much skill and confidence that Chad Reed has as he makes short work of Andrew Short. He knows that you cannot waste time. He has to make it happen now. Right now, he is focused on second place, which is Ryan Villapoto. Chad Reed, the only rider this last time around in the 49-second lap time race. Stewart even up into 50 seconds. So right now, Chad Reed, there's a sense of urgency.
That gives Reed a huge advantage. That's another 2 points. Every spot inside the top 5 is worth another 2 points to Reed, and that puts him into second behind Stewart. And as you saw, he was within 10 seconds of Stewart.
Well, now let's see if Chad Reed can, with a little less than 7 laps to go here, if he can mount any sort of charge on our leader, James Stewart, who seems to be out front and cruising.
And Jeff, I'll go back to the rider walk around earlier today. I talked to Stewart. I said, Chad Reed ran 2 seconds faster than your best lap a week ago. Could you have run that pace? And James told me, whatever the pace is, I can do it. And I went and asked Chad, could you have gone faster? He said, absolutely. So the 2 fastest men on the planet are now running 1 and 2, and we're going to see who's fastest here tonight.
Well, there's not much time as they come across the stripe. Reed's 9.6 seconds behind.
Watch for Villapoto here.
Villapoto picking his bike up, keeps the engine running. And remember, Villapoto went down in his heat also on a right-handed turn. So Villapoto really having problems through that mid-turn.
If Villapoto can hang on and finish third, that will be his career best finish. Remember, a 4th a week ago was his best to date.
Well, here it is, little less than 6 laps. Chad Reed about 9.5 seconds behind James Stewart. Maybe a little too much too late here. Well, still a phenomenal ride, but as James Stewart is the first rider to work his way through the last riders, we've seen some crazy things happen here tonight in Houston. We've seen this track just reach up and fight riders. I'm sure James Stewart, he's gonna do what it takes to win, but man, you just never know.
No, you don't. And we've seen it time and time again in this sport, where just when it looks like a rider has it all locked up, a small mistake can cost him victory.
Well, Chad Reed here trying to work his way around Ben Coisy on the Honda.
Now there's a pretty good fight going on back in 6th position. Michael Lessie is in yellow on the Rockstar Makita Suzuki. And on the Red Bull Honda number 9 is Ivan Tedesco.
And look who's sneaking in just behind them. Tim Ferry on the Kawasaki. Ferry always strong at the end of the motos. This is really going to develop into a good battle here with just a little over 3 laps to go.
And Tedesco and Alessi have had quite a few fights in the past.
Well, a lot of people have with Michael Alessi, and he's a great starter. He always puts himself in a great position, trying to work himself into shape here. I mentioned earlier having injury over the offseason, which definitely didn't start the season at the fitness level that he would like to.